Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. And we are absolutely thrilled to be talking to the crew responsible for the terrific new movie, The Fire Inside. We're going to kick things off by introducing you to the AAFCA members on the call today, starting with Ruben Regal in South Miami, in South Florida, Nigel Chambers in Washington, D.C., Tamara Jackson in New Jersey, Nick Hamilton in Los Angeles, Carolyn Hines in Toronto, Canada, Karan Lenoir Kelly in Charlottesville, Virginia, and Dana Abercrombie in New York, New York. I'm going to let you guys do what you do so well, and I will see you on the other side. But before, Ryan, you stole the show. You were absolutely terrific to carry this film the way you did and to be a presence and to be a force opposite and a great actor like Brian Tyree Henry is really, really, really a joy to see. So good luck to you and looking forward to checking this out.
I'm here to pay my mom's bill.
So you're her, right? You're the boxer?
Yeah, golden girl.
There was a girl named Claressa came into the gym tonight. What you think about girls boxing?
Don't see no reason why she can't. She got hands.
Hey, Mama.
Talk to you, man.
Going to bed. I got training in the morning.
When you win that prize money, you get our own place. Just us.
USA Boxing hasn't won a gold medal since 2004.
Yeah, well, none of them boxers was Claressa, was it?
As long as I'm boxing, I'm gonna be okay.
So you on a path, and everything you see out there is just one more thing to get in your way.
What you doing?
You think I don't know about what it's like to be 16, hormones all everywhere?
Don't nobody want to hear about y'all nasty hormones.
Oh, you don't? Well, I'm gonna tell you, though.
When you gonna rip the Nike?
Soon, bruh, soon. What's this?
That good protein.
Can I at least have some fries?
Coach Jason say no French fries.
We'll be going to China for the qualifiers. And after that, it's London. Can't nobody beat me. It just ain't what I thought it would be. All these people getting these endorsements. Meanwhile, I can barely pay my mama rent.
Maybe it just take more time. I would love to represent Claressa. It's just much harder with women athletes.
It's not fair, but people expect female athletes to behave a certain way.
I won that gold medal by being me. What happened to staying true to who you are?
It's way bigger than boxing, Russ. So it's gonna be up to you to show who Claressa Shields really is.
If I'm training for the second gold medal, I'm gonna need exactly what the man get.
Is it the money? Is it the recognition?
Money is recognition. This ain't just about me. It's just for all the women.
Folks around here know that if Claressa Shields can do it, they can too.
You've seen more in your 16 years than most people seen in their entire lifetime. I want you to take that fire inside of you and turn it into something good.
Hey, yo, you represent out there. Show 'em how we do it in Flint.
Hello, my name is Ruben Peralta from Miami, South Florida. I'm wondering why usually we tie stories about redemption with sports, and usually it's boxing. What is the relationship that exists between sport and a personal redemption?
For me, I mean, you use the word redemption, but I feel like it's like a good revenge, right? It's about having a competitive spirit. Somebody beat you at something, and in boxing, thankfully we may run into each other again, and we got to rumble again to see who's really the best. And then you have things like 1-1, right? So then you got to fight again and break the tie, rock, paper, scissors. So for me, I enjoy that. It makes it more competitive because, like they say styles make fights. And sometimes you don't get to fight the person that beat you till years. I mean, for me, Savannah Marshall beat me in the amateurs. I was 17 years old. And then I didn't rematch until we were in the pros for the Undisputed Championship where I won. but it was 10 years later. So that was a good, redemption / revenge, and it actually feels really good.
Yeah, boxing seems like a very different type of sport than a lot of other sports. It's kind of like the ultimate challenge in my eyes. It feels like there aren't many other sports necessarily like this one where you're literally going in knowing that you're about to get hurt for sure. Like it's it's a very intense special it takes a very intense and special person to want to do it. So it's not your normal sport, and I think that that's what makes it so great for a film, so great to see, and exciting as far as seeing the fights happen, and the type of, I guess, tension that happens when you're watching it, and how you don't really know who's going to win, and it's just a very intense feeling, I'm sure, in it and watching it as well. So I think that's why it's exciting. It's something that I think is just very unique in itself.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off of that. I think sports in and of itself is all about trust, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about power, it's about discipline, but it also comes, with a lot of trust, from trainer to athlete. Like, what does that mean? Like, you entrust this person with your health, you entrust this person with your body, you entrust this person with, your mental health as well. And so there's a lot of metaphors that are connected between sports and making it, because like at the end of the day it is such a discipline, and either you're good at it or you're not. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, either your free throw is trash or it's not. Either your left hook is trash or it's not, and that's just how it goes. And so I think it's I don't know, sports also is so human. Like it's something that's just so human that everyone can relate to, even if you're an avid sports watcher or not, especially when it comes to the Olympics, right? Like we all are around our television trying to see what's going on, like who's going to take. And then you look at women's boxing, and then a boxer like Claressa, you know what I mean? It really embodies like just strength, discipline, hope. So I just think that the parallels between, making it, through any hurdle and sports are go hand in hand. It's all about, overcoming all your challenges, adversities, and actually just having the discipline and the trust of just being a true warrior.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Outstanding film.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Najir Chambers from Big Oak Belt Media, based out of Washington, D.C. My question is for Ryan and for Claressa to piggyback off of it. So Ryan, you've been someone who's been known to show your talents and strengths through your vocals. What did it mean for you to live this legendary and historic period of Claressa's life and show strength through resilience, adversity, and of course, just the raw power?
Yeah, it was something that was so exciting for me. I was also very scared. It wasn't something where I was like, yes, I feel full confidence on doing this and it's about to be perfect, great. I was scared out of my mind. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. And I definitely used it to my advantage, and it just made me go harder, made me want to fall into it even more. And I knew how important the story was. And to be able to have the honor of playing Claressa and telling this story is something that I think reminds me that all of this, even the arts that we're doing and the acting that we're doing, it's bigger than us. So I think this was a really great reminder of that for me, and was something that I was just very proud to be a part of. And I knew that it would challenge myself in ways that I never have before, and that really excited me. So
Yeah, for you, Claressa, just your reaction to seeing her performance, please.
I was very happy. I was nervous to see it, man. I was like, I don't know, from talking to her. She's so sweet and so nice, and so bubbly and stuff. And I was like, how's she gonna portray me at 17? At 17, I mean, I was way different than what I am now. You guys got the clean cut version. I'm not gonna lie. Clean cut. When I was 17. So I was like, even my attitude and my persona and things that I believed in, like I didn't care about how I wore my hair. I said the first thing that came to my mind. I am still very ferocious, but I was ferocious and young and hungry and hadn't had anything. So I was like, where is she going to channel that energy from? And just to see it on film, and she did such a great job in and out the ring. And I was happy to see her inside the ring, happy to see her training in the movie. And I was like, this is how hard you work. This is a boxing montage right here. You know, and when I watch it, I'm like, I wonder, do I still punch that fast? You know, when I watch her, and then I go through a couple punches myself, I'm like, yeah, I still got it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God. Thank you so much
Definitely
for
still
that.
got it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answer. Ryan, you know, fingers crossed. Hope we still get a conclusion to Star at some point.
Oh, we'll see. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Tamara J. for Noir Online. My question is for both Ryan and Claressa in terms of legacy. With The Fire Inside being considered Ryan's breakout role and Claressa's life story, you both are actively working within your respective industries. I wanted to know, on a personal as well as professional level, what are you guys looking forward to leaving imprinted into the world with your legacy?
I mean, for me, everyone knows I just want to be the greatest woman of all time. Like when I die and they talk about boxing and then they talk about women's boxing, I would like for them to be like, hey, we can never leave out Claressa Shields, you know? And then I think that with the movie, it shows how marketable I am, you know, how far I've made it, you know, how they may have overlooked me then, but they shouldn't overlook me now. And I think that once the movie dropped, you know, I am hoping to be like the next Serena Williams, you know, have all the endorsements, all the sponsorships, be the dark-skinned face, you know, in the body of women athletes, because I feel like I am that, and I have a clean record. I've never been to jail, you know. I think I'm a great role model. I don't smoke, I don't drink. So I think and I'm just a resilient and great person, and I'm nice, you know, and I'm very humble. And I want, you know, I think I can represent all these brands and that I'm deserving of that. And that when these brands see the movie, they'll be like, we need to find her right now. We need to get behind her and, you know, support her as she continues her boxing journey, because I am not done. I'm only 29 and I'll be retiring when I'm 38. So I got some years in the game still.
Yeah, and I think for me, you know, being an artist, there's so many there's so many things that I love to do. And, you know, being a part of a project like this just made me so full, you know, and I was just so grateful to be able to be a little part, you know, of Claressa's story and tell a story like this that's so meaningful. And the sense of pride that I had after it, I really, really love that feeling. So I would love to continue to do things like that. And I think for me, the bigger picture obviously is doing things that mean something and it's just bigger than myself. But I also wanted to do something to remind people that you can't put me in a box. And if I can remember, or if I can remind people of that through the projects that I do, would just be so great to me, and that's what I plan on continuing to do. I'm not just one thing. I am not somebody who you think you have this like full picture of just yet. You know, there's a lot of people that still don't know these other parts of me, and I'd love to continue to do that and execute that through the roles that I do, through music that I make, whatever it may be. So that's I think that's my goal and my takeaway, that I would love for other women and other girls to also feel seen in that way. So yeah, that's for me.
Thank you all so much. And I'm also fingers crossed for Star.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media from Los Angeles. First of all, congratulations on this film to everybody involved. My question is for everyone. Ryan first. As you were preparing for this film, when obviously you mentioned you had no previous boxing experience, to what point in the process did you feel like you were embracing Claressa Shields? And for Brian, what was it like seeing Ryan transform into Claressa as you were watching on set?
I think the first moment for me that I guess I felt really, really in it might have been when I filmed my first fight scene. Um, and I can't recall which one it was exactly at this moment, but I do just remember it feeling very real. And you have the energy of everyone else around, all of the background actors having these intense cheers, and all of these things that are happening around it to make it feel more real. It just put me in that even more, and I was like, oh, I feel it. I feel this energy of who Claressa is, and what I needed to continue to make sure that I was doing throughout the rest of the filming duration that we had. So I think it was probably the first fight that we had filmed. And yeah, it just really put me in her head a lot.
For me, there were a few moments. The first time that I got to see Ryan with her gloves on, you know, to put the tape on her hands, to strap the gloves on, see her put that mouth guard in, and then she just goes. Like you just gotta get out the way. You know what I mean? You have to get out of the way. There would be times she'd be jumping rope, doing push-ups, man. It's like I was like, it is 8 a.m. It's 8 o'clock. But that's the discipline of Claressa Shields. Like that is it's the discipline. Like even this morning, Claressa was showing a video of like she woke up this morning and it was just smart. That's just what she does. Like that's the discipline of Claressa. And so Ryan took that on every day, every single day. And also, for me to embody Jason, Jason, like there's certain things. Jason, wasn't a flashy man. He lived to train and serve for his community and these kids, and especially Claressa. And so I was just of service to be there. But I talk about this moment all the time. As of late, when I'm ringside watching her win her first gold. Well, I think it's your second gold medal, Claressa. I'm not sure. I think it's your first. Okay, first gold medal, and it's just so emotional. Like it's truly emotional. Like to watch how Rachel recreated that, to know that happened, to watch the flag come down, to see Ryan sit up there holding this gold medal, literally mirroring what Claressa was going through. You can't take any of those moments for granted. Like every single moment was real. Every single moment happened. And to watch Ryan just like day after day after day after day. There were some days I would just be on the side of the ring laughing. I'm like, man, she gotta get hit again. Like she about to get hit again. Like she's about to get hit again. And she would do it. She would do it. She would do it. She would do it. And I don't know, something like that. When you go through something like that, it can only bring you closer. It can only bring you closer to watching not just her portraying a champion, but being one herself. So it was a delight for me to watch her do it and to know that I didn't have to get hit. So that was great. But no, truly, to both of these women, it was like, I don't know, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. It was truly remarkable to be a part of.
Well, fantastic job to everybody. Claressa, congratulations to you. I got a chance to see this film at the AFI Fest, so excellent job.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carolyn Hines for Carolyn Toss YouTube channel and podcast. I love this film. I first saw it at TIFF. It was actually my very last official film of TIFF. And I actually got to say that the screening with two of the young actors, one who played Little Zay, Tatum, and his little brother Miles was actually there. So I'm gonna give them a little shout out for you guys because they said they had a fantastic time.
Lil Zay, we love Lil Zay.
Yeah, I did an impromptu interview with them, and they both said they had a fantastic time on set. So shout out to you for that. And I want to talk a bit about the proximity and the technicality of boxing and filming, because there's similarities. Like acting, you have to get very intimate with the people that you're co-starring with, is especially when you have to do sharing the screen with people. Like you have to get very close up, and for like human beings, not getting close to people physically doesn't come natural to everyone. So for Ryan and Ryan, I want you guys to talk about the physicality of actors and getting into the head space of where you're saying, I have to let someone get physically into my space, and how that changes the way you perceive relationships. Ryan in particular, how moving from as an actress, you have to prepare yourself to get physically violent with the person that you're sparring against on screen. And so that's a form of intimacy. And for Brian, I want you to talk about just like the technicalities of that as an actor. And Claressa, I want you to talk about getting into that headspace as a very young girl. You know, you started boxing very young, and the headspace that you had to get into to say, I'm going to take on this sport where it is a very physically intimate sport. You know, it's a very physically violent sport. So I want you to talk about that first. So Ryan, I want you to you'll go first, then Brian, and then Claressa.
Yeah. So I had really great and fun relationships with the women that I actually had to do my scenes with when it came to the fights. And they were actual real boxers themselves, which was just really cool to get to hear them talk and how excited they were, you know, about this film in particular, because they all look up to Claressa, obviously. So it was just a real delight to be able to get to know them. And I think, you know, us also learning the stunt choreography together was a learning experience for us all. And I did get hit a few times. I also hit them a few times, but they're fine, you know, because they're the real deal. I'm not. So it was interesting to have those moments happen, but it was really fun. And I think it made it all easier, you know, to be able to kind of just be learning together and have that relationship. So they were really great, and those were some of my favorite days on set for sure, being able to do those scenes with them. And they did an amazing job, and you know, to be able to have their like kudos and approval of thinking that I was a boxer before is so funny to me, and very sweet. So it was a real great time for me, and I really loved that part of having to be intimate in that way.
Yeah, uh, it is intimate, the relationship between athlete and coach, and the relationship between Claressa and Jason. Also, you know, this black man and this young black woman, was also very important for me to protect that. You know what I mean? Like, because it takes trust and it takes safety. You know, Claressa, you know, entrusted Jason, um, with a lot of parts of her life, but also like it has to be intimate. Like there's sweat, there's tears, there's blood, you know, he had like there's a great documentary called T-Rex that follows Claressa, which we also had as a wonderful learning tool. And there are so many scenes that we take from that documentary and put in this movie. And one scene in particular is at a press conference where Claressa is, you know, they're coming at Claressa, as these reporters will often want to do, to question, just getting in Claressa's space about why she talks the way she talks, and Jason just walks up to her, you know, and just tries to get her to crack a smile. And so like I remember thinking like, you know, there is this safety and this comfort, but also this vulnerability that you need in order to play these two characters. And you have to kind of ask permission, right? And some moments you can't, because like boxing is all about not asking permission. Like we get in this ring and that's it. Like that's it. And so I think what was really also very important to Ryan and I think, is that because Claressa and Jason are living and breathing beings that are still doing what they're doing, like Claressa is by no means finished doing what she's doing. You want to honor that. You want to make sure that you know, allow yourself as the actor to be a vessel for that. You want to show the vulnerability. You want to show the crunchy moments. You want to show, you know, it wasn't this. What it was really great about doing boxing movies is it's not about glam. Okay, like it's not about how good you can look. It's not about, you know, you have to go in your rawest self. That's the greatest thing I think about boxing, and the greatest thing that I think Claressa brought to this is the rawness of it. You know, like at the end of the day, this is how I am. I'm showing up, and and I think that requires a lot of trust and a lot of vulnerability. And I think that when I met Ryan, immediately there was a complete connection, but an also understanding that these two individuals had this familial bond and we needed to honor that. So I had to get in their face. There was one scene where I had to slap you on the hair. Remember that, Ryan, when we were in there getting ready? I had
I
to
was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that, man. I swear I was.
but that's what he did,
Guys,
right, Claressa? Like, that's what he did.
No, that really hurt though.
Like,
that
I
really,
was like, it's from the film, it's what he did. But
Yeah.
it
I
took
was just about to say that, like, getting into my training and how I used to train, how I train now, but I was the only girl in my gym for a very long time. I trained alongside the boys and the men. It wasn't another girl that came to the gym till I was probably like 18. So I trained in a gym full of guys all the time. And Jason always wanted me to come first in the runs, to spar the hardest, spar the best, beat the guys up. If they got me one day, he'd be like, Ressa, you sparring him again tomorrow. Like, come on your A game tomorrow because you need to get him. Like, Jason always had that in me, like, hey, we gonna beat everybody. So training and running, I never felt like I was a girl in the gym. He always said, you're not a girl, you're an athlete. And he told everybody that, like, you're not a boy. You're like, yeah, you're a boy, but you're not a boy, you're an athlete. And that was kind of maybe to make me feel like I wasn't too different. But it got to a point where I was like, don't call me Ressa, call me Ress, because I wanted to fit in with the guys. And I feel like the A at the end of the name makes you like a girl. I'm like, you said that I'm an athlete. I'm like, I'm kind of, that's where Clorenzo comes from. Okay. That's my alter ego. He's a boy. So for me, I was just always thinking about boxing first. And honestly, it wasn't hard to get in that mindset because I had a coach who always expected 100% from me. And that's why I expected 110% from myself. It was fights that I felt that I did terrible in. And Jason was like, you did great. And I was like, to get the okay from him was like, I did. That was an A+ performance. And he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, what, to me, it felt like a C. He like, it was an A. And then there were performances that I felt that I got an A. He say it was a C+. And I was just like, well, dang, man, you see things completely different. But I think it was needed. And I just appreciate him for putting that work ethic in me as a young girl because I still work that hard now. I was just up this morning training. I mean, we're doing all this promoting for the film, but we just announced my fight February 2nd, and I got to fight a girl that's 6'2" at heavyweight. She want to take my belts. I got to defend my belts and get some more belts. So history is continuously going, and I'm just like, yeah, this is one of those things where it's just, I think my work ethic comes from when I was younger and Jason just pushing me so hard that I push myself now. But it wasn't hard to get in that mindset. I was the only girl and always had something to prove, always.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you, Claressa, for allowing this film to be made because there's not very many Black sports movies about Black female athletes. So first of all, thank you for letting the film be made. And Brian and Ryan, you two were fantastic in the film. And congratulations on the upcoming fight. And I'm sure you will kick her back. It's like I was gonna curse and say no, I won't curse. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hello, I am Karan from Karanism.com and Love Music Pleasure. And I want to direct this question to Ryan because I remember when you were the first It Girl for my dear friend and colleague, AJ Crimson. Bless his heart.
Emotional?
Oh.
I'm sorry. He was really great.
He was a beautiful human being. And at the time when he chose you as the It Girl, you were one of the you still look like a doll. I don't know how you look younger in the film, but just to be in your beautiful brown skin and to be as kind, and he spoke so highly of you. I want to know what it was like through your physical transformation in this film as you learned to become an athlete yourself, if you were, I don't know if you were already, but we usually see you as your glamour babe. I mean, you're a beautiful woman. And what did you learn about pushing your body to its limits?
Man, I I learned a lot because it was something that was completely new for me. Obviously, I knew how people saw me, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I'm I'm glad that people see me as, someone who's beautiful, and I appreciate it so much. But I also knew that there were other sides and parts of me that I wanted to make sure I could showcase and show people, because I'm not just one thing. And I I really love acting, and I love music, and to be able to kind of just spread my wings within those industries, and beauty industries as well, is something that's very special to me and always been a dream to me. So it was such a challenge, but it was something that was so needed, I think, for my growth as a person, as a performer. And I really appreciated it during the end, the end result of everything. During, it was excruciating. And I was very tired for a lot of the training. But yeah, it definitely scared me at first, but I used that fear to my advantage. And it was something that I knew I just needed to grow through, literally, to be able to push myself and really show my full potential in something like this, and something that I also knew was very important. I had to put myself fully into this because Clarissa deserves that. She deserves her story to be told to its best abilities. So I knew I couldn't hide from anything. I knew it'd be something completely new for me to strip down completely, and no one's seen me in this light before. They're used to seeing me glammed up in other projects that I've done and outside of that. But with this, it felt very freeing to be able to completely take all of that away, and focus on something that is bigger than myself. And I really am just so blessed to be able to be a little bit a part of this, in that way. So it was very fun and challenging, but in great ways.
Think you were, I don't know if you're aware of this, but your work with AJ created a shift in our industry. You had great impact then. And I think telling this story, Claressa and Ryan and Brian, is going to change the lives of a lot of young women. So I thank you for your performance, for the strength in your performance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Wasn't planning on crying today.
She got
That
you,
was not
man.
the
She got
plan.
you. I
Got
mean,
me good.
that was special to watch. I mean,
Hi, Dana Abercrombie, the Coalition. One of the points that really stood out for me was no matter how great of an athlete you are, because you're a woman, you get judged. Oh, this is a violent sport. Or why is she not wearing a dress? And so for you, Ryan, and the question is for all three of you, but for you, Ryan, I wanted to know in that moment in the movie where there was the scene where she's trying to put on the makeup, she's trying to look the part of the psychological switch of becoming that or someone who you really wasn't you. You was kind of uncomfortable and you expressed that. Can you talk about that psychological like breakdown of that? And for Claressa, if that scene was true, of trying to kind of fit the mold of other people, but realizing that is not for you. And for Brian, for that character of being supportive, even though you will never be placed in that position because you're a man.
I can start off. I know, for me, it was one of my favorite aspects and just points of the film that it gets to. That scene is very special because it just represents a lot. Women are asked so much, and there's an immense amount of pressure put on us, in all industries. And I think that to have that mindset Clarissa had of understanding who she was even then at that young age is something that I think is so special. And I think a lot of us need to see, um, that we don't have to fit into these molds and these ways that people feel like we need to fit into in order to be marketed a certain way, in order to be respected. It's something that I think is powerful, and I think it needs to be seen. And with a story like this in particular, I think there's so many points throughout, that it really, really tells that in a beautiful way. But with that scene in particular, I think it's just very special, because it's just a moment where she, you know, is trying to go there a little bit, but she's like, no, this isn't who I am. This isn't me. And it doesn't have to be. People constantly are telling us what we need to be all the time. So I think it's just inspiring to see someone like her, play play that role. Well, me play that role, but her to be that person that, is like, you don't have to do any of those things, and you don't have to fit into this box that people are trying to tell you need to fit into. So it was one of my favorite parts for sure, and I think it's very important.
Me, just to piggyback off of it, being the woman that I am, and when I even turned professional, I wasn't a trash talker in the amateurs. I mean, you can see in the movie where the girls are walking past me talking trash because they're older and I'm only 17, and they're trying to like let me know, like, hey, you messing with the big girls now, right? And they were kind of intimidated, and I was like, what? You girl knows that? She don't know that I'm from Flint. I'm from the streets, And Jason was always telling me to keep it inside the ring and don't let the trash talk get in my head. So then as I turned professional, I came out the gate with two Olympic gold medals, and just in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna let them tell me nothing, And they started off with women don't trash talk, be ladylike, wear some dresses, put some heels on, wear some earrings, and I tried it. I tried it, but it was just like I have a genuine dislike for girls who I'm going to fight at that moment. Um, I don't like them. I just can't fake the funk. So I told myself that I'm not going to fake it. I have tried so many different hairstyles, wigs, dresses, heels. I have been at events where my feet were hurting, and then the next day I couldn't train because I walked all night in heels. And then it got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. I'm not doing anything that's outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to sell women's boxing the way that I want to do it, because if I do it the way that these girls did it before, you're going to get the same results. And I feel like God chose me to be in this position, and I just had to embrace it. And soon, I mean, oh my gosh, soon as I embraced the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time, Claressa Shields, just that girl, and I embrace being different and wearing my hair how I want to wear it, wearing the lips that I want to wear, wearing makeup sometime, and then sometime going bareface. When I embraced that, that's when my boxing career started to change, and not just inside the ring, but outside the ring. That's when I became what I believe marketable, when I figured out who I was and what I wanted to stand for and what I wasn't going to go for, and embracing, who I am as a person. So it wasn't easy at first, because you have some people around you telling you, oh, if you do this, you will get the endorsements. If you do that, you'll get the sponsorships. And I just was like, listen, I've done all that. It was a time where I didn't trash talk. It was a time where I wore the makeup, where I wore the dresses and the heels, and I still was ignored. It was a time where I stopped trash talking, right? Or at least I tried to. Nothing worked. And I was like, you know what? It's stressing me out, because I feel like I'm this big and I mean this much to the world. And then people are trying to make you feel like you mean this much. And it was like, it's hard to exist in a world like that. And I said, you know what? I don't want that to be my world. So I carry myself like I'm this beam of confidence and happiness and strength, and I'm not gonna let anybody take that away from me. And now that I've done that, we're here. The Fire Inside comes out Christmas Day, and I got another fight coming up, and I'm the greatest woman of all time, not yesterday, but right now. And I just embrace that, and don't let nobody try to make me feel small. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, I see it on the film, in the movie, and I was like, I remember trying to wear this stupid lipstick. I remember this stuff. I remember trying to do my eyelashes. I remember looking at myself in the mirror like, should I wear my afro this fight, or should I put some braids in? Listen, I remember at the Olympics, they want me to braid my whole head in braids. And when she got to the last braid I didn't want any braids. I wanted to fight in an afro like Sugar Ray Leonard. They were like, Claressa, absolutely not. I was like, why not? And then I argue with everybody on the team. And then I was like, you know what? I'll let you guys braid the hair. Braid it. But then when I got to the end part, I said, leave that last braid out. They're like, Claressa, I said, leave it out. That's the compromise I got for you guys. I want this piece of hair out because it makes me feel like I'm a beast. Leave it out. And they left it out. And so every fight in the Olympics, I fought with one braid, not braided in the front, and I would curl it to the front. And after the fight, it'd be all poofy and curly. But I was like, so what? I want to have a whole head of this. So this is what we're doing. And everybody's like, okay, at least some of it's braided. Okay.
I don't really want to say too much about that because look, there's so much to be said. Being in any industry while Black has so many standards that aren't set by us all the time. There's all different kinds of ways that we're supposed to be. And what's great about what I got to come in and witness is that we are literally just following the guidelines that Claressa set. You know, like this is what she lived, this is what she did. And we all know the standards for Black women are so high, so high, so ridiculously high, and so rarely afforded the attention that is needed. You know, like so rarely do we give Black women their flowers for what they deserve. And what I loved about this movie is that it's undeniable. You can't there's no way you can't give Claressa or Ryan their flowers for this because it's happening in real time. Like it's happening in real time. It's in my privilege of being a man and those standards of being a man, my job was to be of service and to be there and to witness and to watch and to carry what couldn't be carried. That's it. You know what I mean? Like that's all I wanted to do was make sure, like, you know, that because the strength, you know, truly came from the story of these two women, the performance of Ryan. Like, so I knew that it didn't really matter much about how I felt about it. It was to bear witness. Like that's all I was there was to bear witness and carry the story. And if needed be to stand shoulder to shoulder with Ryan, you know, and make sure that she knew that she was safe and protected, that her feelings were valid, that she was going in the right direction. Like, you know, like that I was of service. Like that I was truly of service for this movie. And I'm so grateful to know that women like Claressa exists. You know what I mean? Like to know that women like Ryan exists, to know that they stand so deeply in their individuality and really don't, I mean, pardon my French, give a fuck what anyone has to say. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's no one way to be a Black woman or a Black person in this world, and we damn sure aren't going to sit by the guidelines made by somebody else to tell us how we're supposed to be. And I think that that's what this story really embodies, and really it really reaches far and wide, is that we are all things, man. Like we still making up new ways to be today, like, and we doing it in our sleep, and then we're gonna do it tomorrow, and then it's gonna, like, that's the greatest thing. Like to watch Claressa with this gold necklace on with her head up, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's so, it just charges me every single time, and so, you know, like I said, I'm just a man bearing witness. I am here to support my sisters, to stand, you know, shoulder to shoulder with them, behind them, beside them, you know what I mean? And just stand in gratitude of it. So, you know, thank you for raising the bar and setting new standards for everyone else to follow. So.
Well, I have a question for Brian that's a little off the script, but where did you get that cardigan? I love it.
This cardigan is from a wonderful company called Corridor. They make all cool little crochet kind of, you know. I knew I was gonna be with Claressa and Ryan. I couldn't come, you know,
Right. Correct.
Texture or something, you know. So, but yeah, Corridor.
I like it. I'm gonna go on their website.
Go for it.
Brian, Ryan, and Claressa, thank you. This film is terrific. And each of your performances and your story are just made for a great entertainment experience.
Thank you.
So on behalf of the world's largest group of Black film and TV critics, Thank you for watching this edition of Africa Roundtables. Have a great day.
Take care.